Welcome, deep diver. Some stories just grab you, twist your brain, and kind of refuse to let go.
Hmm.
We're talking about the truly bizarre, the
Yeah.
utterly baffling, the kind of mysteries that make you question everything you thought you knew.
Right.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into some truly unbelievable deaths and unexplained historical enigmas pulled directly from your sources.
Yeah.
These aren't just strange tales, they're moments where explanations simply vanish, leaving us just wondering.
And what's particularly compelling about these narratives, I think, spanning centuries and continents, is how consistently they challenge our fundamental understanding of reality, human nature, even established science.
Absolutely.
We're exploring events that have baffled scientists, historians, and, even the most skeptical minds for generations. They often force us to rethink the very boundaries of what's possible.
So, our mission today: pull out the most important nuggets from these tales, unpack the strange, often chilling facts, and see what insights we can maybe glean when the answers are, well, nowhere to be found.
Let's do it.
Get ready for a journey into the inexplicable. All right, let's start with a category that really makes you wonder about the collective human experience.
Okay.
Times when entire groups of people seem to fall under some kind of strange, inexplicable spell, leading to tragic, unexplained ends. We're talking mass phenomena that just defy easy answers.
Right, the collective mysteries.
Exactly. Imagine this. The year is 1518, the place, Strasbourg. A woman named Frau Troffea steps into the street and just begins to dance.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, just starts dancing. She dances for hours, then days. Soon, others join her. Within about a month, hundreds are compelled to dance nonstop for days on end without rest or any apparent reason.
Hundreds. That's staggering.
It is, and some literally danced until they died of exhaustion. Their bodies just gave out from the sheer physical strain.
Okay.
Accounts describe people collapsing from heart attacks, strokes, sheer fatigue, yet others just kept going. It's an image that's both horrifying and utterly bewildering.
Indeed, the dancing plague of 1518 is a truly unsettling historical anomaly. And what's particularly baffling is that, despite extensive historical records detailing this event, chroniclers couldn't pinpoint a clear medical or psychological cause.
Right. No clear why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Historians have debated various theories like mass psychogenic illness, a kind of collective stress-induced hysteria, or maybe ergotism, poisoning from a fungus on rye that can cause convulsions, hallucinations.
Oh, okay.
But neither really fully explains the duration, the scale, or the specific fatal outcomes. It leaves the whole phenomenon shrouded in mystery. It wasn't just a few individuals, it was this devastating event that gripped an entire community with deadly consequences. Really highlights the power of the collective mind under extreme stress.
And if the dancing plague wasn't wild enough, get this parallel. Fast forward to 1962, Tanzania.
Okay, different time, different place.
Our sources describe an outbreak of uncontrollable laughter that swept through entire villages. Yeah, uncontrollable laughter. It started with a few girls in a boarding school, then apparently spread like wildfire. People would laugh uncontrollably for minutes, hours, sometimes weeks.
Weeks. That sounds exhausting.
Totally. Often leading to crying, fainting, or just sheer exhaustion. The epidemic forced schools to close, caused widespread disruption, and ultimately affected over 1,000 people across several villages over months.
1,000 people.
Yep. And again, victims suffered from severe exhaustion or stress-related physical problems, and medical scientists were completely puzzled about its origin.
This sounds like a classic case of what many call mass psychogenic illness, similar maybe to some interpretations of the dancing plague.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that label, right, it still raises a profound question. What force can compel the human body to such debilitating extremes, leading to death or severe distress, without a clear physical pathogen or obvious external cause?
Yeah, what's the trigger?
Exactly.
Yeah.
These aren't isolated incidents, but community-wide phenomena. They defy conventional medical or psychological explanations, forcing us to consider the often underestimated impact of, social contagion, cultural anxieties, psychological stress on actual physical health.
It really makes you think about how fragile our understanding of mass psychology or even basic physiological responses can be, doesn't it? When confronted with events like these, where the mind just seems to take a terrifying, fatal kind of control. From these unsettling tales of collective human behavior spiraling out, let's shift focus now to the chilling, more individual horror of those who simply vanish,
Right, the disappearances.
leaving behind just this agonizing void of uncertainty. Next up, we delve into mysteries where people simply disappeared. or were found in the most inexplicable ways. These are the ones that really gnaw at you, leaving this open wound of uncertainty, often for generations.
Yeah, these are tough ones.
Let's turn to a haunting American mystery. The Sauter Children. Christmas Eve, 1945, Fayetteville, West Virginia. A fire breaks out at the Sauter family home. George and Jenny Sauter escape with 4 of their 10 children, but 5 others were apparently trapped inside.
5 kids. Tragic.
Absolutely. Despite frantic efforts, and get this, the phone line was faulty, so they couldn't call the fire department right away, and a ladder they usually kept nearby was inexplicably moved.
Whoa, strange details already.
Very strange. The 5 children were never seen again.
Hmm.
Investigators found no bone fragments, no discernible remains in the ashes, which seemed impossible given how intense the fire was supposed to be.
No remains at all in a house fire.
None reported. The family later even received a photograph years later of a young man who looked like one of the missing boys, claiming to be him. It fueled decades of their own investigation. Their disappearance stands as one of America's most enduring and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries.
The complete lack of any definitive remains, I mean, that's the core issue here.
Yeah.
Combined with the strange circumstances around the fire, the ladder, the phone, it leaves this case in a perpetual state of ambiguity. Forensic science, even back in the 1940s, you'd typically expect to find some evidence of human remains in an intense house fire. Teeth, bone fragments, something.
So their absence is deeply perplexing.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's a stark reminder of how easily lives can simply disappear, leaving behind endless questions and just no closure. It really speaks to the limits of investigative techniques when faced with truly anomalous situations and the enduring pain of a family left with only theories. Was it an incredibly efficient fire, or was it something else, like kidnapping?
Just awful uncertainty. Okay, so from vanishing children, we move to an entire family brutally murdered with no trace of the killer.
Oh, this is the Villisca case, isn't it?
That's right. 1912, the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa, was just rocked by this horrifying crime. 8 people, the entire Moore family, Josiah and Sarah, their 4 children, and 2 visiting friends killed in their home.
8 people.
All bludgeoned with an axe, which was found at the scene. But what makes this so chilling is there was no sign of forced entry. And the killer covered the victims' faces with bedclothes and even covered a mirror in the house.
Covered the faces and mirrors. That's
Really?
and creepy.
Very creepy. Despite extensive investigations, the murderer was never caught. It leaves this chilling mystery completely unsolved to this day, and the house itself has become, a subject of dark legend.
What's fascinating here, in a grim way, is the enduring nature of such a violent, unsolved crime, especially in a small, close-knit community. Early 20th century forensic methods were, well, rudimentary compared to today. But even with those limitations, the sheer brutality and the strange staging of the scene, the covered faces, the covered mirror, it suggests a motive beyond simple robbery, right? Yet it offers no clear path to who did it.
No clear answer.
None. The profound lack of closure for the community, the lingering terror of an unknown killer roaming free, the multiple false leads and suspects over the years. These elements shape local history and folklore for generations. It serves as this stark warning from the past about the fragility of peace.
These collective and familial vanishings are deeply unsettling. Now, let's zoom in on some individual cases and even an entire species that present truly head-scratching facts, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible for a single life or even human evolution itself.
Okay, individual enigmas.
Picture this. 1828, Nuremberg, Germany. A mysterious teenager appears seemingly out of nowhere, barely able to speak or walk, carrying a letter claiming he'd been held captive in a dark chamber his entire life.
Wow, like straight out of a novel.
Totally. This was Caspar Hauser. His existence was a riddle wrapped in an enigma. He quickly learned to communicate, sharing these astonishing tales of his isolation. His story captivated Europe, sparking intense debate about who he really was. Was he a neglected noble, maybe an imposter, or something else entirely?
A complete unknown.
Right. Then, just a few years later, he died mysteriously after being stabbed. Suspected murder, conspiracy theories still swirling around him today. So what does this all mean for understanding human identity and memory? It's baffling.
Caspar Hauser's case is a profound historical enigma, absolutely. It continues to spark debate.
Yeah.
And it raises that important question. Who was he, truly? And why was his brief, dramatic emergence into society followed by such a suspicious and unresolved end?
Yeah, the why again.
The challenge for historians and psychologists lies in disentangling the verifiable facts from the sensationalism and the theories. which range from him being a prince hidden away for political reasons to just a clever con artist.
So many possibilities.
His story is a poignant example of how some lives just seem designed to generate more questions than answers. They become these historical enigmas that compel us to ponder the very nature of human development, societal influence, individual identity.
And then there's the deeply unsettling, much more modern case of Elisa Lam from 2013.
Yes, the Cecil Hotel case. Very disturbing.
Her body was found in a sealed water tank on the roof of the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. A hotel, by the way, with a pretty dark and tragic history of its own.
Right, it has a reputation.
Before her death, CCTV footage from inside the hotel elevator showed her behaving very strangely. She's seen stepping in and out of the elevator, pushing multiple buttons, talking and gesturing wildly, seemingly hiding from someone or something, before eventually leaving the frame. That footage still remains completely unexplained and deeply unsettling to anyone who sees it, especially considering the bizarre circumstances of how she was eventually found.
What's fascinating there, I think, is how modern technology like that CCTV footage often provides more puzzle pieces rather than clear solutions. It deepens the mystery instead of clarifying it sometimes.
Totally. You see it, but you don't understand it.
It's exactly. Despite the visual evidence, which has been analyzed endlessly online and by authorities, the how and why of her death are still hotly debated. Theories have included a manic episode related to her known bipolar disorder, maybe accidental drowning after disorientation, or even foul play, though the official ruling was accidental drowning.
But how did she get in the tank?
That's the crux of it. The fact she was found in a tank that was apparently difficult to access, combined with that elevator footage, it just makes it incredibly challenging to construct a coherent, fully satisfying narrative, even with all the contemporary data we have.
These individual human mysteries really tug at something deep inside us. But okay, what about an entire human species that, by conventional wisdom, shouldn't exist as it does?
Oh, you're talking about Homo naledi.
Exactly. Our sources mention Homo naledi, discovered in the Rising Star Cave system in South Africa back in 2013. This ancient human relative had a remarkably tiny brain, like the size of an orange.
Tiny brain, yeah. Typically associated with much less complex behavior in our evolutionary models.
Right. Yet the evidence found deep within these caves suggests incredibly complex, deliberate behavior, like intentionally disposing of their dead in remote, incredibly difficult to access chambers.
That's the astonishing part. Getting deep into that cave system is hard even for experienced cavers today.
Exactly. And how these individuals died in those deep, dark caves and were repeatedly placed there, well, that remains entirely unclear.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, Homo naledi profoundly challenges our long-held assumptions about brain size and cognitive complexity in early hominins.
Big time.
For a species with such a small brain to exhibit what looks very much like ritualistic behavior, the careful placement of their dead in such a challenging environment, it forces us to reevaluate what we understand about the evolution of consciousness, maybe grief, symbolic thought.
Things we usually link to bigger brains.
Precisely. Their mysterious deaths in those caves only deepen the enigma of their existence. It pushes the boundaries of what we understand about our own evolutionary past and the diverse paths hominin intelligence might have taken. It really suggests that our definition of humanity might need to expand beyond traditional markers like brain size alone.
It's truly astonishing to think that even our own evolutionary history holds such profound, unexplained puzzles. Okay, finally, let's touch on some broader, truly wild-card mysteries that continue to defy our scientific understanding, reminding us of the vastness of the unknown, whether it's in a remote mountain range or the deep past.
The real outliers.
Let's start with the Dyatlov Pass incident. 1959, 9 experienced hikers in Russia perished mysteriously in the Ural Mountains.
Infamous case. Very chilling.
Their tent was found abandoned, crucially, cut open from the inside, suggesting a desperate, sudden escape into the freezing night.
Right, escaping from something inside the tent or trying to get out quickly for some reason.
Exactly. Later, their bodies were discovered scattered in the snow, many with strange, fatal internal injuries, like fractured skulls and broken ribs, but with absolutely no external wounds.
That's the key bizarre detail. Massive internal trauma. No outside signs of a fight or impact.
None. Some showed signs of paradoxical undressing, common in hypothermia, but others had unusual details like a missing tongue, missing eyes in one case, and traces of radiation found on some of their clothing.
Just layer upon layer of weirdness.
Experts are still debating what really happened. Decades of investigation, countless theories, avalanches, infrasound causing panic, unknown military tests, even stranger things.
This case really does challenge the limits of forensic science when faced with truly anomalous circumstances.
How so?
Well, the complete lack of external trauma combined with severe internal injuries, the kind you might see in a high-speed car crash. It's incredibly difficult to reconcile with conventional explanations like an ordinary avalanche.
An avalanche wouldn't break ribs without leaving marks.
Not typically like described, and it wouldn't easily explain the scattering of the bodies, the specific missing parts, or the radiation. An avalanche might explain cutting the tent to escape, maybe, but not the rest. It just leaves it an open question, compelling us to consider possibilities beyond the easily explainable. It highlights how even robust scientific methods can falter when confronted with a truly unprecedented event.
Okay, shifting from extreme cold to something far smaller, but maybe just as mysterious, our sources also mention unusual deaths across history linked to rare spiders.
Lighters. Okay.
Yeah, these aren't just simple venomous bites we understand well. Some incidents, particularly those historically associated with what was called tarantism in southern Italy, they remain partly unexplained.
Ah, tarantism, the dancing cure.
Kind of. For centuries, people there were afflicted by this mysterious ailment, believing they'd been bitten by a local spider, maybe a wolf spider or tarantula. This led to uncontrollable urges to dance, sometimes for days, a bit like our earlier plague or other strange behaviors meant to sweat out the spider's perceived venom.
So mass hysteria again.
Likely a big part of it, yes. But experts also point out there are cases of genuine rare spider species causing physiological reactions that can seem to defy typical biological logic, leading to outcomes that scientists are still studying and struggling to fully understand.
So what's fascinating there is the nuanced way nature itself can present mysteries, often intertwining with cultural beliefs, right?
Hmm.
It's not just about a known venom acting in a predictable way. It might be about rare behavior, unexpected physiological reactions in certain people, or even the sheer power of collective belief manifesting physical symptoms.
Biology meets psychology meets folklore.
Exactly. The historical accounts of tarantism highlight how deeply cultural understanding of disease can be influenced by folklore, making it challenging for scientists today to separate genuine biological effects from psychogenic phenomena. It requires deeper ongoing scientific and historical inquiry to unravel the complexities where biology, psychology, and culture intersect, sometimes in fatal ways.
And to cap it all off, let's delve even further back in time. Way back. Archaeologists have uncovered ancient human remains with truly bizarre injuries that modern science still cannot explain.
Prehistoric cold cases.
Pretty much. We're talking about mysterious prehistoric fossils showing unusual bone trauma, patterns of wounds, or evidence of conditions that just don't fit known diseases, accidents, or even weapon use from their specific era.
Like what kinds of injuries?
While some reports mention signs of complex surgical procedures, like trepanation maybe, but appearing to have been done with tools not yet invented, or trauma that suggests extreme, inexplicable forces were at play. The cause remains unknown, baffling researchers around the world who tirelessly seek answers from these fragments of the distant past.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Mm.
it illustrates how even with our most advanced scientific tools available now, paleopathology, isotopic analysis, CT scans, the works, the distant past can still hold secrets that might forever be beyond our grasp. Forensic anthropology and archaeology rely on established patterns, known trauma mechanisms. When remains present anomalies that defy all known explanations for injury or cause of death within their historical context, it forces us to confront the limitation of our current knowledge and our reconstructive abilities.
We can only explain what we know.
Precisely. The sheer antiquity of these mysteries adds another layer of intrigue. It challenges our perception of history itself and reminds us that the human story is far, far from fully understood.
Phew. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. From dancing plagues and laughing epidemics to vanishing children, mysterious historical figures like Caspar Hauser, Elisa Lam, even ancient hominins, and these perplexing forensic cold cases like Dyatlov Pass. What a journey into the truly unexplained, all pulled from your sources.
It's been quite the tour of the baffling.
As we wrap up this deep dive, consider this. What makes you, listening right now, so drawn to these kinds of stories? Is it just the thrill of the unknown, maybe that dark fascination with unsolved puzzles? Or perhaps it's a fundamental human desire to believe that some things truly do defy logical explanation, pushing the boundaries of what we understand about the universe and ourselves.
It's a good question. Ultimately, I think these mysteries, despite how baffling they are offer us a profound insight.
Oh, yeah.
They remind us of the vastness of the unknown, the persistent limits of our current knowledge, no matter how advanced we think we are. And they highlight the enduring human quest to understand the world around us.
That drive to know.
Exactly. They push us to refine our methods, expand our theories, and maybe most importantly, remain open to possibilities that challenge conventional wisdom. And that, perhaps, is the most fascinating mystery of all, the perpetual mystery of discovery itself. The fact that there's always more to uncover.
Well said. Stay curious, everyone, and keep exploring those aha moments, even when they lead to more questions. We'll be here to deep dive with you next time.